Alright, and welcome back to another episode of Andrew's Garage. Tonight, I kind of got some roll bar back. Had some roll bar pieces bent for me. So this is kind of the main hoop in the car. And I've already hole sawed a hole through this back splash pan. And that's where the tubing's gonna go through. It just barely misses that hinge. And then it should land somewhere right here, right there in that bolt. Is my cross member that I welded across real wide, so I got a nice pad to weld to. So right now I kind of got some string set in there, and what I was doing was I put the string underneath it first with the straight shot all the way to the back, and that helped me get the eyeball of where it's kind of going to land back there. And then after I did that, I kind of determined where I kind of wanted this bar at. So I wanted to make sure I had it high and way back so I can still get two back seats in here. May not be comfortable, but at least they can ride in here. So I did that, which I might have to waller out that hole a little bit because you can see it's not quite in the center, which I was going to make a covered panel anyways. So it's not too big of a deal. It's just more of a hassle. So I measured back where I thought was good, so I got it at 26 inches. And then it makes a bend here. So I got a manual bender out there, and I'm about to try to bend this first bar and make it work. So I'm gonna go ahead and bend it, and we'll see what comes out of it. Alright, so I got the rough outline done, and I got the tubes mirrored and matched for the angles. Went ahead and matched the cuts to the rough end. So this is kind of the rough end stage where I know I can get these pipes to line up where they need to go, and I know I can straighten them out. So the only thing left is to cope them, move them around a little bit. So I'm gonna have to mess around with them holes, which I figured I would. It's not as bad as I thought it'd be, but this is kind of what it's gonna look like. So I think it'll work out pretty good. Happy with it so far, and I'll pick up tomorrow night. All right, welcome back. It's currently day 2, and I've done a little bit of work just trying to get it all prepped out. I didn't want to bore everybody with a lot of the prep work, but basically I had to add a little bit of a bend here to get my angles right so they pitch through that hole properly through the splash pan in the back. So I had to do that on both bars. Went ahead and cut this angle. This left bar here is coped, and it's cut to the angles, and it's kind of ready to weld in. So went ahead, broke the roll bar back out, got it prepped, got the spots cleaned up on the hoop where I'm going to be welding. And only thing I'm going to do now is clean up the pads some from where they've rusted from sitting for so long. And I also went ahead and cut this out. I know it's all rusty and I didn't clean it up yet, but basically these are going to go like that. and slide down and bolt back down to make a nice seal back through the frame, because I still want it to be a nice street car too. So rather than a big hole in my floorboard, I'm going to slide them over before I weld it in, so I can weld in the roll bar and have that slide down, and then I'll just do some self tappers through it to hold it down to the floor. So that's basically where I'm at. I'm at the point to where just need to clean up them 2 pads and then get the main hoop back inside, and I'll get the main hoop tacked in, and I'll get this 1 bar tacked in just to hold everything nice and square, and then I'll do the last bar and make sure everything matches, and I'll weld it up. So getting pretty close. I'm gonna go ahead and get the camera set up and get rolling. I finally got the last bar tacked in, so both bars are tacked into place. One thing I'm going to start with tomorrow is just double checking measurements to make sure that everything is as centered as possible. So that is something I'm going to start with tomorrow, but for now this is what I wanted to have done at least, so tomorrow I can get everything set up real nice and weld everything up, and then I can start working back on patching these floors around here. And I made them nice patch panels that slide around the bar and everything, and then I forgot to put them on, so now I got to split them in half and do a 2-piece cover, which is no big deal, but not ideal. So anyways, I'm happy with the way that turned out, and I'm gonna continue on tomorrow. All right, so this is the third and final day of the roll bar assembly. So I got it done this weekend, which that's what I wanted to do. And I've been doing lots of other work too, so this is a good accomplishment. Now, I went ahead and there is the crossbar for the harness mount. I've already got it notched. I looked up the measurements for the seats I'm gonna run, and I got a roundabout idea of where that bar goes. So it should be good. Now I'm just going to go ahead and get it tacked up, double check my measurements, make sure everything's good. And then I'll weld her up and give it another coat of paint on everything else. And it should look good. All this paint here turned out pretty good. So yeah, get the camera set up and we'll start welding in.
Now, as you're watching me finish up that harness bar, I do realize that it's not the best way to go about something is to weld your harness bar in before you have your seats. But I did it anyways because I don't like waiting, and in the end, it worked out. And you'll just have to follow in for the next episode of Andrew's Garage to find out how well it worked out. But thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next week.